Another question I was going to ask you, like, now, some people they might like some aspects of religion or Islam in specific, right? But then they'll say like, oh, but religion it causes war and and all these things. So why should I follow something like that?
Yeah, yeah. So there is one perception people may have.
Yeah,
So actually, there's a lot of data that no matter if a person belongs to this faith, that faith, or no faith, it's a
yeah,
human psychology. It's a problem. It's a challenge of humanity that causes war, terrorism, extremism, and violence. People have done it all throughout history. People of the followers of Islam, followers of Christianity, and even the atheists, actually the most killing, the most violence, the most murder of the civilians, it was done in the name, or those people who are atheists or agnostics,
yeah,
like the founder of China, for example, or Stalin, for example, right? Or Mussolini, for example, or Fidel Castro, for example, right? I can give example after example, all just in the last century.
yeah,
100 million people, they have died in the name of violence, correct? And these
yeah,
are started mostly by what our non-believers,
yeah,
and they are started by those people who are called as atheists or agnostics. So I
yeah,
would say violence, extremism, and war, this is a human problem because of what power, oil, politics, right?
yeah,
Geopolitical nature. So I would
yeah,
say do not judge Islam based upon the situation of the people in the Middle East. Christians all throughout centuries, the Crusaders, the Spanish Inquisitions, the slave traders, the genocide of the Native Americans, the witch hunts, all of them, they were done in the name of Christianity. But me as a Muslim, I would not blame Christianity, Jesus, or the Bible. I will blame those Christians. In the same way, when any Muslim, unfortunately, when they are committing some acts which are against Islam, we blame that person, but not the perfect faith of Islam.
yeah,
So you separate the actions of the people from the complete beneficial and excellent guidance of Islam, and then you show them why this guidance is beneficial for humanity.
yeah. That's good. That's a good point. Actually, I was going to bring up because believe it or not, like the second highest amount of like I guess like killings actually was done by atheists. Believe it or not. First, obviously being like statistically speaking, like it's actually atheists, and then first being like Christians. But the Christians have been, I guess, like in power for about 2,000 years or so. But the
Mhm.
atheists have been in power for about like 100 years. And the fact that they catched up at fast, I mean, it's kind of a testament that religion on its own does not cause wars. And just in general, it's like all the wars in human history, only about like 27% have been done in the name of religion.
Even those wars, by the way, people hide behind religion to give credibility to their cause.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Even those 27% or 30% that you have quoted.
Yeah,
But so there is a concept of fighting in Islam. Okay, let's
yeah,
not take it away. Islam is not a pacifist faith. Islam is a
yeah,
peaceful faith. So sometimes to maintain peace, you have to have you know a force to tackle the wrongdoers of the society to maintain peace in the society. For
yeah,
that reason, we have the police force. For that reason, in the USA, we have the TSA, the Homeland Security, right? And we
yeah,
also have a what? $700 billion defense budget,
yeah,
right? Why all of that? Sometimes as a preemptive, prevention of war, or sometimes the active self-defense. Any which way to maintain peace, sometimes you need war. But war is the last resort for Islam. We have to
yeah,
exhaust all the other means, diplomatic means, right? Peaceful coexistence, creating an environment in which we take care of the minorities, the women, people of other faiths. Even then, if there are some elements of the society, both within and outside, if they are bent on destroying the peace of the society, then Islam does say to take up arm and defend yourselves. So let me quote you this passage, Basit. This is in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse number 190. I'm just quoting the English translation. Chapter 2, verse number 190, God is saying, Allah is saying that fight in the cause of war for those who fight against you, but do not go to extreme, because Allah does not love the extremist. So what Allah is saying is that you have the right to defend yourself if somebody is bent on, picking up arms to come and destroy you.
Yeah.
So in a defensive way. But
Yeah.
even in that just war, you cannot go to extreme and kill like innocent people and civilians and non-combatants, right? So
Yeah.
even in that self-defense, there are rules and ethics of war. You cannot kill women and children, non-combatants. You cannot destroy people who are worshipping in places of worship, and the resources, the civilian resources of the civilians, even of the enemy population, like internet resources, water, electricity, farms, animals, right? You cannot destroy them. And then it says, if the enemy drops their weapons and want to sign peace treaty, Muslims are also supposed to extend our hand to sign peace. Chapter 8, verse number 61. So not only war as a self-defense, but even in a just war, these are the rules and regulations that Allah has given in the 7th century. So in case if somebody sees a Muslim disobeying those rules and killing innocent people, we blame the person, but not the perfect faith of Islam.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point because it's very important to differentiate between like people and I guess the religion itself.
Exactly, right? So it's
Yeah.
always, many of the misconceptions, Basit, is that people blur the line between fallible Muslims and infallible Islam. So we have to have a demarcation, a separation. Just like when I study the Bible, I don't want to blame the Bible uh, on the shortcomings of the Christians. Like the 93,000 rapes in this country of ours, in the USA, on
Yeah.
Christian women by the Christian men. Bible doesn't have anything to do with it. The 40,000 suicides in this country by the Christians, I don't blame the Bible for it, right? 100, not 100, actually 10 million spousal abuse by Christian men on the Christian women. I don't blame the Bible for it. I blame those people.
Yeah.
In the same way, if anyone sees in the Muslim community or Muslim countries that they are disobeying or contradicting the peaceful teachings of Islam, we blame them, but not the perfect Islam.
Yeah. That's a good point. Now, obviously, I know you, even though these are really good logical like arguments that you're making, right? Now, sometimes you'll meet some hostile people that'll still like, that still like have a problem with what you're saying. So how would you deal with them in general?
Sure. So no matter how much you want to educate them, clear
Yeah.
up the misconceptions, give them powerful and convincing evidence, there would
Yeah.
always be people who would say, you know what, despite what you say, I will not believe in it. So our job as a Muslim is not to force anyone. Our job is to peacefully educate the person and invite them to Islam. If they don't, accept our invitation, our job is done.
Yeah.
So it is now between them and the creator. But we as Muslims, we should deal with any person, doesn't matter a harsh Islamophobe or a neutral non-Muslim brother or sister. We
Yeah.
have to deal with them the way that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, used to deal with any person in the whole society. He was sent as a mercy for all of the alameen, all of the worlds. So even with the harshest of the people, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not used to pick up the stones and hit them back. He used to smile
Yeah.
at them, say peace, convey the message, and just leave them on their own.
Yeah.
So that is our frame of reference. The Quran, which is perfect, and the role model of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which is also perfect.
It's good.